Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome to some Eternal gameplay. We're going to be doing some ladder matches today, and the deck we are going to be doing it with is this one right here, Budget Rakano. This is based on a Tier 1 deck in the format called Righteous Rakano. However, I don't have some of the cards, some of the legendaries, and even full playsets of some of the rares. I'm grinding cards out as quickly as I can, but I am limited in the amount of both time and money that I can invest. I did buy some gems up here to support the devs, as I really do like this game, and also there is a promo going on during the beta. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but if you buy any amount of gems at all, even their smallest package, then you will get 3 free packs of each set that is released forever. So that seemed like a pretty good deal to me. Anyway, I will show you what at least one of the cards we're missing is. Righteous Fury. The Tier 1 decks run 3 to 4 of this. Give a unit lifesteal and double damage. I have none, and I don't really want to spend the Flux Stone to craft it right now. I'm trying to spend that on legendaries as I can, and it would take pretty much all of them that I have to craft one of these. But the deck that I have together is doing, pretty well. I'm steadily climbing the ladder. You can't win every game, and I started out with an even more budget version than this, and just am replacing it with more optimal cards as we go. We're playing 4 Finest Hour, which is basically Giant Growth, if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, a 1-cost card that gives a unit +3/+3 till end of turn, and it's a fast spell, which means we can play it on our opponent's turn as well. We're running 4 Inspire. The top unit or weapon of our deck gets +1/+1, and we draw a card. We're running 4 Oni Ronin, and the number of cards here, if I neglect to mention, this is the number that we're running of them, and this number on the side here is their casting cost, is a 1 mana 2/1, or a 1 power 2/1, as it were, with Warcry. And what Warcry is, you can see the little tooltip right there. When this attacks, the top unit or weapon of your deck gets +1/+1. Also running 4 Torches, which is equivalent to Lightning Bolt in Magic the Gathering, which, if you're familiar with that card in that game, is pretty powerful. Also 2 Champion of Glory. I would like to have 2 more in the deck. I actually picked up one, I think, recently. I guess I put it in here. I was at 1 previously then. Anyway, it is a 2 mana or 2 cost 1/1, and it requires you to have both Fire and Justice faction, as you can see at the top there. However, when you have 2 influence with Fire, you get +2 attack and quick draw, and quick draw means when this kills a blocking unit, the blocker doesn't deal damage back. That only works on attack, not when it itself is blocking. And if you have 2 Justice, then you get +2 on its health and endurance. And endurance is sort of like super vigilance, to use a magic term. It can attack and block in the same series of turns. However, in this game, it also can't be stunned or exhausted. We're running 4 Crownwatch Paladins, which are 2-cost 2/2s with Warcry and Aegis. And what Aegis is this form of, say, hexproof. It's protected from 1 enemy spell or effect, and then it goes away. So it's kind of a more fair thing. It's not forever protected from your enemy's effects, but it is not protected from battle damage. So if they have a weapon themselves, they can swing in and kill it, or if one of their units has an ability called Killer, then it can attack this unit directly and kill it and ignore the Aegis. One of the budget concessions of this deck, this is kind of in place of the Champion of Glory, if I remember my deck building correctly, is Minotaur Grunt. It's a 1/3 for 2 with Warcry. 4 Rakano Outlaw, which is Warcry and Quick Draw 2/2. Vanquish is 2 cost, kill a unit with 4 attack or more. Auric Sentry is also a card that doesn't normally go in the deck, but again, we are making concessions due to card availability. 3 cost for a 1/5 with Endurance and Warcry. 3 Crownwatch Deserter, again a card that is just placeholding in the deck. a 3-cost 3/3 with Warcry. Ijin, Imperial Armor, and I'm probably not pronouncing the name there correctly, but this is also just a placeholder. I got lucky enough to pull these 2 legendaries. I wish it were 2 of the legendaries that actually go in the deck, but you make do with what you have. A 3-cost 3/2, and you can pay for and exhaust Ijin. In Magic terms, that is tapping it, and put a 4/4 Mithril Armor on one of your units. One of your other units, you can't put it on it itself. And you can see in the tooltip up there, it shows the Mithril Armor. For Sword of Icaria, it's a 3 attack, 2 armor weapon, and it has Warcry. 2 Valkyrie Enforcer, flying, 3/3 for 3, and when you summon it, you can silence another enemy unit. And silence removes all text from a card and its attachments. It does not, however, affect its power and toughness. If there are effects giving it pluses, it does not get rid of those. 1 Hammer of Might. The deck actually wants 4 of these and 4 of the Valkyries. It is a 4-cost +3/+3 weapon. When you summon it, the unit you put it on gets Warcry 3 this turn. So whereas some of our other things, say Warcry here, they give +1/+1 to the next unit or troop in your deck, the Warcry 3 will give +3/+3 to the next unit or weapon in your deck. Our replacement for the time being for the rest of the Hammer of Mights are 3 Morningstars. Again, the same 4-cost and +3/+3, but instead of the Warcry 3, this gives them Overwhelm, which is the equivalent in this game of trample damage. When this kills an enemy unit, then leftover damage hits the enemy player. We're running 2 Ceremonial Masks, also a placeholder, 6-cost +4/+4, and when we summon it, we give one of our units +4/+4 this turn. Then the power base is 6 Fire, 7 Justice, 4 Diplomatic Seal, and Diplomatic Seal is sort of a dual resource thing or multiple resource thing. If we have 2 or fewer influence when we play it, we gain an influence of our choice. If not, we just get the additional power. Then 4 Rakano Banner, which is not usable the turn it's played unless we have a unit on board, and 4 Seed of Glory, which is also not usable the turn we play it unless we have a sigil in our hand, and the sigils are the Fire and Justice sigils here. Diplomatic Seal itself does not count as a sigil. But enough going on about the deck. Let's play a few games and hope we have some good luck. Okay, go ahead and select that. Hit go. All right. Well, we can't keep this, so let's redraw. And we only get 1 mulligan, as the second draw puts their algorithm into effect to where you are guaranteed, rather, if I could stop being tongue-tied, to get 2 to 4 resources in your opening hand. I do honestly wish that they had applied that to the opening hand as well. That would have been very nice as far as I'm concerned. It may be a change that they make in the future. Looks like we may be up against a pseudo mirror here. Let's play our banner and our outlaw and attack, triggering the war cry there. Right, just a sigil for the opponent. Playing a torch, probably killing here, and they are. And a second torch and killing here. Alrighty then. We need to draw a resource, and there's one. We won't get a thing from it, a influence there, but yeah, let's play out this. We could have been more resource efficient and played this. However, I want to leave the torch open to kill something of theirs and to get our war cry going. They're also playing the budget option there. We'll go ahead and kill that. Alright, there's something we war cried onto. Let's go ahead and attack first. Then we will inspire, hoping to draw the next unit in our deck. And it is a resource, so we'll play that and play our Crownwatch Paladin out. Alright, Outlaw for the opponent. That is very good there. Let's go ahead and attack, see if they're willing to block. I very much doubt they are. Okay, so let's silence that girl and play a 5/5 flyer at the same time. And that is enough for the opponent. So, our first game we got rather lucky. They got stuck on 2 resources though. It's kind of the name of the game. Luck is inherent in card games, as there are random factors. Okay, we got a protect there. I was about to say an Aegis. Let's jump right back in there. Okay, we don't have any fire resources. However, and we don't have a 1-drop either. We do have Crownwatch Paladin. I'm going to redraw this. I think we can do better. And maybe that's not exactly what I would call better. But what can you do? Alright, we'll play our dual resource there and pass back. And we'll have exactly 2 influence on our next turn, so we can get an influence from this. And we will get a second Justice, as we have several cards in our hand that require 2 Justice, though one is quite late game. We do need to draw some resources here. Otherwise, we're probably going to have the fate of our opponent in the last game. Our opponent here is playing Fire plus Shadow, which is the term for that faction group, I believe, is Stone Scar. In the game, another Torch, okay. Well, we're both stuck on resources, so I guess we're just going to stare at each other across the board. Well, we can play that. Alright, they finally hit their third. That's probably bad for us. Scheme. Draw one of the top 4 cards of your deck, put the rest on the bottom. We'll see what that entails for us. It is using all of their resources this turn, so that at least is good for us. We really, really need to draw a resource of some kind. That is not what we wanted, but we will go ahead and play it. And in the turn, we got a War Cry off, finally. So much rather be drawing resources, and I apologize if I'm droning on about that too much. Oh, they are 3 factions here. So they played a sort of Icaria of their own. And finally, we got a 3rd resource, so we will play that out. And we will play Ijin and attack. Could be Ijin. As I said, I'm not really sure how that name there is pronounced. Still would love to draw more and get to these higher cost things in our hand. Another sword, probably just kill the armorer there, and armorsmith. So this deck they are playing is a form of a deck called Armory, it seems to me, which relies on a lot of relic weapons, which is what you equip to your champion. Let's play this seat. We won't be able to use it this turn. And this is not really going to do anything here, but we need to get some more presence on the board, so we will go ahead and silence that. And I'm not going to suicide my Oni Ronin in. Unfortunately, that means we don't get to get rid of the sword that they have here. It stays as long as they have any armor left. Also, once you get rid of your opponent's units, you can attack them to their face, which doesn't eat any of your armor up. So bye-bye to our 3/3 Valkyrie there. Rise to the challenge. So they're searching for something. Probably a weapon or Icaria, and Icaria is a very troublesome creature to deal with, though I don't think they have the power to play her yet. I'm not super familiar with the game yet. There's still a lot about it that I don't know. However, right now, we are going to beef this guy up and attack with a huge amount of Warcry. Hopefully that will help us out. We only get the Warcry the turn we play that, but it will retain its own Warcry even after that. Death Strike, getting rid of our unit there. And we're taking 3. Well, we're not in super excellent shape. Let's Inspire. Again, trying to draw more resources, and there's one. I'm not going to risk them being able to play something on this, as you can't actually respond to weapons and things being deployed, at least as far as I've seen, only to an attack or perhaps another fast spell. I may be wrong in that. It's just something that I have not noticed being able to do as of yet. Couldn't vanquish it as it didn't have at least 4 attack. And maybe they searched for a Mithril Mace, I'm unsure. There's what we've been Warcrying onto. Let's hope they don't have a Vanquish or other form of removal. Yes? Which they would need too, as this has Aegis, so they have to target it twice. Valkyrie Enforcer. Well, the silence there will target it and get rid of the Aegis. And then they can stun it with their Rebuke. And its Warcry is gone, however, it's still a 9/9, which is nothing to sneeze at. And they choose not to bash their face in. They have to get rid of this before they can attack us. So, we're luckily having this Vanquish here. And now, since our opponent has no units, we can attack their face and get Warcry from our sword here. Our unit should come unstunned this next turn. Harsh Rule, the equivalent of a Wrath of God, so bye-bye to that. They will be hitting us in the face. That will get rid of our weapon while letting them retain theirs. Well, nothing to do but to play out our Valkyrie Enforcer. It can survive the weapon attack while ridding them of their armor, so that's good, though they could have something else to deal with him. And they deal damage, so I assume they can finish it off, and yes, they can. Magma Javelin, okay. Well, they've already attacked this turn. Let's go ahead and play our Crownwatch Deserter out. I would rather they smack that than smack me in the face and get to keep their Magma Javelin. We're still struggling to get resources this game, unfortunately, which this is more useful if we have a unit out, but it's fine in any event if we can hit 6 resources here. Another Harsh Rule. Guess they just want to keep bashing our face in. Hopefully we'll top deck a Sigil and rid them of their Magma Javelin there, and we did. Let's hope that they don't have... Well, I don't know what they could have in these colors that could actually deal 4 to us and rid us of our weapon in response, but they didn't have anything, so no worries. Stone Scar Maul. Yup, lots of weapons. That's doing nothing for us, unfortunately, so we're going to take another 6, and if we don't draw an answer, then we're going to die. Start turn. I mean, that is something. It doesn't actually survive this, though I guess with Finest Hour it does. So let's hope. Alright, we will definitely Finest Hour this thing up. Deal some extra damage to this and not die ourselves unless they have something else to contribute there. And they could also swing in, hoping that we would block. We're not going to. And they have a Sigil. Into a smuggler's stash, draw 2 units and 2 weapons from the Void. And Void is the term for a graveyard in this game. So they're getting probably 4 things back here. I think they do have at least 2 units and 2 weapons sitting over there. And they do Valkyrie Enforcer, Armor Smith, Sword of Icaria, and another Sword of Icaria. Yep, I figured that would be the case. And we're pretty well dead here. We can vanquish this, play the Morningstar on here, and attack, ridding them of this, but we're going to die on their next turn. As this no longer has endurance, it can't block. So, we take 3 from here. And good game, my friend. Or obliterate. That will do it too. They had a lot of stuff there at the end. All right. Okay, we've got 2 resources, but our whole hand is full of 3 drops, so redraw. And that's a bit better. So we'll lead off with our banner, that way we can stop we'll lead off with our banner so we can start dropping our 2 drops on turn 2. Alright, we're up against time here. And we'll lead off with the Aegis creature. Time and Shadow. Okay, play that. Oh, I figured they would play that on her to get rid of the Aegis, but no. Alright, well, we'll play another Aegis girl. And get our Warcry train going. Luckily, they have not shown us any Justice in this deck so far. Justice is the color that has the board wipe of Harsh Rule in it. Alright. Let's play this depleted, and we will burn this girl out. And continue getting our Warcry train on. Whatever's next in our deck has already got Warcry onto 3 times now. Impending Doom. That is a shame. 7/7. Does do a damage to them every turn. Let's play the Armorer out here. And pass. Beast Caller's Amulet, so when this hits us, they're going to get a 5/5 Beast. Need to draw a Vanquish. Get rid of this Impending Doom. Okay, there is the Vanquish. We could also activate her to get this big enough to attack into the Beast. However, I think getting rid of the Impending Doom is probably more beneficial at present. And we will also play out a Rakano Outlaw. This is just a 2/2. I think I'm just going to take it. Vara's Favor. Still not getting rid of our Aegises. Wonder what their rationale in doing that is. Maybe they're just trying to get us dead as quickly as possible. Dark Return on their Impending Doom. Luckily, they can't play it this turn. There is a big Crownwatch Paladin. So let's activate this ability here. And then we'll attack with her. All right. I'm going to block this conduit this time. That impending doom in their hand is big enough to kill us, but so is that. It has killer, so it can kill right here, or just the armorer. Torch. So can we survive? Well, neither of these have overwhelm, and they are tapped out. So we could do 12, which is one short of killing them with this. Well, 11, really. It's actually +3, not +4. But I do think that that is probably the best bet, is to play that here and hope they can't remove her so she can block this 8/8. And we'll get in for 9. And end the turn. Okay, we have to block that. If they play Impending Doom here, we win, because it will do 1 damage to them, and then we'll torch them on our turn, and there it is. Down to 3. And there's 3. Awesome. I think we'll do one more game. What do we get here? Awakened Student. Nothing super great. Don't know if you can actually get anything that's above, say, common or uncommon in those red chests, but... Alright, again, we will redraw. That seems a little bit better. We have this that can come into play usable, and we'll pass. We can torch something if they play something we want to torch, but they're not going to, so that's fine. Let's play out our Fire Sigil and our Crownwatch Paladin. Next turn this will be playable, usable, because we have a unit, which I conjecture they won't be able to kill with its Aegis there. Though they could spend 2 1-cost cards on it. This is not going to give us an influence. So let's play this just to make sure we get it in case they have something. Attack. And fight. And here is Crownwatch Deserter. Would love to be able to hold up our torch or finest hour, but we're not in that position yet. There is a Champion of Glory. That's pretty good for us. Well, let's attack. And fight. Opponent's not really doing anything yet. And this time we can hold up both of these, as this only costs 2. And we have the required thresholds on both of those, so it's getting the +2 on offense, defense, endurance, and quick draw. Continue. This guy's a bit of an issue against some decks. As you can see there, it is deadly, which is Death Touch and Magic. And when you summon it, it silences all units in the enemy void, and enemy units entering the void are silenced. So, let's begin by attacking, which is safe for us. We may lose something to the Death Touch, but we will kill it in return. And if it blocks here, then nothing of ours will be affected. Okay, let's Go ahead and Finest Hour here so that they will trade. And we will deploy our second Crownwatch Paladin and pass. And they do have Justice in the deck, so if they live through this next turn, we could be harsh ruled. We need to remember that. Statuary Maiden, deadly. Enemy units that die transform into +2/+2 cudgels, and you draw them. Okay, then. Well, we can get through for at least 6 here. Let's go ahead and attack. Almost certainly it will block here. No, they are wanting to have it live, but it's not going to live. They just don't know that yet. So they're going to get a weapon, a +2/+2 stone cudgel. But they won't be able to play it on that, as we're going to kill it. So we could get harsh ruled here, which would be pretty bad for us. Seeing as how we're down to 1 card in hand, that I'm not even certain can be used against this deck. Spire Chaplain. Well, that is a blocker. And it must block. We'll play our Sigil and pass. Hopefully they haven't stabilized at 4 and we won't be able to finish them now. That helps them a lot. When this dies, they are going to gain 5 and we're going to take 5. However, die it must. Don't want to trade my Paladin for it. So we'll put them back down to 5 after this life drain there. And we're going to play that, sure. Navi Warsinger, that's another one I'm not familiar with. A 6/6 war cry, and it affects all units and weapons in your deck instead of just the next one. That's interesting and powerful. Well, they are unable to swing with it, as we do have threats on the board. Now we have an 8/8 Crownwatch Paladin. Right, Valkyrie Enforcer can get rid of one of these Aegises. And now it can be annihilated. Okay, I think we are going to end up losing this game, unfortunately. Opponent appears to have hit a good place to stabilize. And there, this thing gets its war cry going. Silverwing Commander, Flying Warcry 2. Well, let's offer the trade, shall we? And they will accept. We'll pass with this Sigil in our hand. If we draw another, we can just deploy it next turn. Soulfire Drake, so we are dead. This thing has charge. And when they could have killed us if they'd swung. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're going to kill us this turn anyway. This is one of the legendaries that are actually supposed to be in this deck. As a 2 of, I believe most lists have. Alright, good game. So, 2-2, that's fine. As I said, we don't quite have the optimal build of the deck together yet, but I hope this gives you some idea of what this particular deck is trying to do. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested in seeing more of these sort of deck techs and explanations of different things within Eternal, because I am definitely still playing it in my own time, so I would be happy to make video content for it for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a like below. It really does help tremendously. And hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos from me in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, be excellent to each other.